Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, your Vadadi Sai Rohan. Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Could we have a quick introduction?
Yes, sir. So, my name is Vadadi Sai Rohan. I am from Visakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh, where I've completed most of my schooling till 12th grade from, post which I studied Bachelor's of Technology from IIT Delhi in Computer Science, and then I've been working in the startup ecosystem for the last 4 years, sir.
So what drives you to take up the civil services? You have a very good technical background.
So, my sense of job satisfaction comes from 3 metrics. One is versatility that a job offers, 2, the impact on the larger society, 3, the larger satisfaction it gives to me and my parents. And considering these 3 factors, I prefer the civil services over a technical job, sir.
Okay. Have you heard of this term digital arrest?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
So, this is a new type of cybercrime that is happening, where people are getting calls from people impersonating as police officers and other law enforcement agencies. They are telling people that they are under arrest, and to not be imprisoned, they have to pay certain amount of money via digital transfers to them, sir.
Is there any legal basis for a digital arrest?
Sir, no, sir. I don't believe that there's a legal basis for digital arrest.
That's right, there's no legal basis. As you said itself, it's a fraud. Right? Now, there's a saying which is going around that data is the new oil. Right. I'd like you to give me your thoughts on this.
Sir, as we are entering the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which is a data-centric industrial revolution, which means that the decisions that are being made by companies are being made on the vast amount of data that is being mined through the operations that people are doing. For example, if I'm using my mobile phone, the sort of applications that I'm seeing, the sort of websites that I'm visiting, all these data is being collected, and based on that I'm getting targeted ads. So this is a very important monetization for certain companies, and so this is able to increase the sort of personalization and the sort of engagement with consumers to a large extent, and that is why data is the new oil, as it's being rightly said, sir.
Right. Have you heard of this term lateral entry? Yes. So lateral entry, please expand on this term. Let me know something about it.
So lateral entry refers to the entry of people who've been working in the private sector into various positions of the government. This is being done to increase the workforce and to infuse new perspective into the government efficiency and functioning, sir.
So earlier also we had at the level of secretary, we had inductions like Manmohan Singh, Montek Singh, Ahluwalia, etc. What is different in the new system which has been introduced about 2-3 years back?
Sir, I'm not aware of the differences of the last introduction, sir.
Being done through advertisements at the level of joint secretary?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. Why is quantum computers way ahead of classical computers in terms of the speed of processing, data processing?
So quantum computers work on qubits or quantum bits, as different from conventional computers which work on normal bits. In a simplified manner, quantum computers can store more amounts of data because they store data in terms of 3 states rather than 2 states of 0 and 1 in binary. So they're able to, 1, store large amounts of data. 2,
which are these 3 states?
Sir, it's 1 is 0, 1, and the superimposition of 0 and 1. So these are the 3.
What is superimposition of 0 and 1?
So superimposition means that we don't know exactly what the state is in between 0 and 1. It can be in any of the states, and that gives it the sort of diversity in terms of storage of data, sir.
So it can have any infinite number of values between 0 and 1?
Sir, theoretically speaking, it can exist in many values, but once you go ahead and look at it, it condenses down to a single value, sir. So when you're computing it, it stays at a 1 value, but theoretically from quantum perspective, it can have any value in between 0 and 1. That is the sort of diversity that quantum computing gives.
That's called superposition.
Yes, sir.
What is quantum entanglement?
So quantum entanglement refers to 2 quantum particles being linked together, where state of one can be determined with respect to the state of the other.
What is teleportation?
So teleportation refers to movement of particles from one position to other directly.
Pickles.
Particles, entities, items from one position to another, sir.
No, that is in the science fiction. Tell me what is what places Worship Act? What exactly is there in the Act?
So Places of Worship Act was passed to ensure that the religious character of places are conserved with respect to how they were on 15th April 1947, sir.
That has been in the news recently.
So there were many cases which were asking the government to look into the validity of the act and to sort of look into whether it should be continued or there should be changes with respect to demands from people to look into various religious places and their history to change the religious character of them, sir.
How many states and UTs are there in India?
Sir, 28 states and 8 union territories.
Can you list the 8 union territories?
I'll try, sir. There's Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Daman and Diu, Pondicherry, Delhi, sir, I'm not able to recollect the rest.
In your opinion, should J&K be given back its statehood? If so, why? And if not, why not?
Sir, in the current situation, I do not believe it is right to give back the statehood. There is still a lot of development that needs to be done before an integration of it completely into the Indian ecosystem as we envisioned when the Article 370 was abrogated. That is yet to be achieved, and only after that can a decision be taken.
No, what is that is yet to be achieved?
Sir, in terms of economic development with respect to a sort of equal status with respect to other states, the sort of employment opportunities, the infrastructure development, the social development parameters with respect to rest of India, once these sort of parameters are there, which are equal to other states, then I believe that is a question that needs to be looked at then rather than now.
What is it that is different from other states?
So, given the history of Jammu and Kashmir, and given that it was
We all know about the history.
Yes, sir.
What is it that is different?
So currently, I believe that there is to a large extent an economic deficit that is being there, where the industries are not yet to a large extent developed as they would be in other states, and apart from that, the sort of economic activity by outsiders is to an extent less. So these things should be increased to be not different from other states, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon, Sai Rohan. Good afternoon. So, my question to you is about Vixed Bharat. You must be knowing we are aiming to become Vixed Bharat by when? 2047. If I ask you, what is the percentage of Indian population which is engaged in agriculture?
Ma'am, I believe that's around 60%.
What is the share of agriculture to our Indian economy?
Ma'am, it is around 17%.
With a country where 50% of the population is engaged in agriculture, which is contributing only 18% to Indian economy, how is India aiming to be Vixed by 2047? What structural changes we need to do to be Vixed by 2047?
Ma'am, what we are doing is we're taking a short, medium, long-term approach. The short-term approach is to increase the value of agriculture as a percentage of the economy. We are looking at increasing the infrastructure of agriculture, the reduced post-harvest losses, increasing food processing industries to add value addition and to increase employment of people in the agriculture sphere. Two, what we are looking at is to reduce the dependency of the economy on service sector as a large component and to increase the manufacturing share so that we are able to have more labor come from the agriculture sector to the manufacturing sector, which is to a large extent labor intensive, and also if you look at other developed countries, the share of manufacturing hovers around 25%. So to increase manufacturing, we have the National Manufacturing Mission that we have introduced in the recent budget. Apart from that, we have other schemes like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, etc.
And skilling, etc., so that we divert some part of the 50% population engaged in agriculture we can move towards the secondary field or the tertiary field, maybe enter the service sector or the manufacturing sector. Okay. So when we talk of budget, India has a deficit budget. How do we meet the deficit?
Ma'am, one, we are looking at fiscal consolidation as the goal of the budget as we're going forward. So we're looking to reduce our fiscal deficit by 4.4% from the current 4.8%. This is primary driver being one.
How do we do it?
Yes, ma'am. The primary driver being one, we are increasing the tax base, which is set to increase from 6% right now to 10% in the coming year.
How is the tax rate going to increase? It is going to reduce. We have already, the budget is already announced. So next year, people with earnings of 12 lakhs don't need to pay income tax.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can imagine already what is the tax base of India? How many people are paying income tax?
Ma'am, around 2.2% of the population.
Yeah, that is about only 2 to 3 crores. It is further going to decrease with this 12 lakhs. So, how the tax base going to increase? Why don't we include the rich farmers in the taxation?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, to answer the first question of the tax base being reduced, if you look at the budget estimates for the next year, the government aims at increasing the tax collection by around 2 lakh crores, from around 12 lakh crores to 14 lakh crores. This is being done by increasing the manufacturing sector employment and bringing more people into the formal economy to increase the tax base. The second part of the question, ma'am, taxing agriculture, I believe that the agriculture sector in itself had been at a disadvantage for a long part of the British rule.
No, but it again came in the newspaper. I'm not talking about the entire agricultural farmer. If you take only 7%, the statistics say only 7% of the agriculturists, they are very rich. They are earning more than 15 lakhs. They have got assets, they have got money. So why can't they be taxed?
Ma'am, I believe in the current situation of the Indian agricultural ecosystem, there's a lot of variability in the produce that is being done. There is climate resilient factors, there's adaptability factors, and there's also reducing fertility of agricultural fields to a large extent in the capital intensive belt. So considering these factors, I believe there needs to be a shift in the agricultural system to have a long-term growth metric coming into place first, and then looking at taxation, because currently taxation would not lead to the investment that we're looking for.
Basically, the answer is only it is a political decision. Only the government can decide whether the agriculturists, rich or poor, can be taxed or not. Isn't it?
At the end of the day, the government is the one.
Yes, the government has the one. So there are so many political issues involved, so nobody is going to touch this thing. Okay, that is my last question to you. Thanks.
Because your signing to your name was like it for a particular reason, or?
Sir, I was told that my mom is a huge devotee of Sai Baba, and she wanted that to be as the name added first, but that is the story I've been told, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I believe that religion is quite different from what it is supposed to be and what it tends to be. While a particular saint or a person lives his life in a different way, his followers might look at worshipping him in a different way, and how they have this spiritual connection with that person is their preference.
It's a theory with that particular has fought against something and he becomes the symbol of that. Is it? I don't.
Sir, the sort of spiritual connection that people have with their
No, the spiritual connection, you don't have to do the things which you are against.
sir, it depends on the person of what they do. If they are themselves are showing their love.
I'm saying, then you're not following his teaching.
Sir, I believe that they would have taken certain aspects of their teaching and showed their love in this specific way rather than sticking.
Okay, your father is the additional commissioner in income tax. Your mother is also statistical. It's a state service or a state service? Because, there is always a question of the quality of the data which we collect. Why is it so different?
Sir, I believe to a certain extent, our census data to a large extent is devoid of these uncertainties. but the sort of paradigm we follow for other sort of data collection depends on the institutes that are doing it, and they might not follow a very rigorous comprehensive data pattern as we follow in the census. So
How computer science can help in improving the data collection?
So one, digitization of data collection, ensuring that entire data that is being collected is not lost and it is being stored, so that
The question is the problem with the collection of the primary data, the quality of the primary data, which is being collected. So how the computer science can make sure, in your view, that your background?
yes sir, so like I was telling, to ensure that data is of the good quality, once we should see that everyone is being covered and the data that is being taken is accurate. So for ensuring that everyone is being covered, I think digitalization, to ensure that metrics of the people who are collecting data have access to all the forms in one place and they're not missing out any forms, and once the data is collected from each and every source, that is not lost. So digitalization makes it very easy to do both these steps to ensure that all the data we have is coming to one secure place. Apart from that, sir, we can look into metrics such as duplication and re-entries, and these can be done by checking by using computer software of duplication, etc. So that increases the validity of data.
You like to play pickleball. Why pickleball has become suddenly so popular?
So I believe there are two major reasons. One is that it's a very easy sport to learn. It took me around one session of 2 hours to start playing it fluently. Second, it is a very cost effective sport, sir. It doesn't take a lot of upfront investment to start playing it. So it costs around 600 rupees for 4 people for an hour. And the equipment is also provided by them. You don't have to buy the rackets and the expensive shoes, etc. for pickleball as you do in, let's say, tennis or badminton. For this reason, it's very easy for people to access it and to start playing it. I believe that is they are the reasons why it is popular, sir.
People in India cannot afford to play football. How they are able to play pickleball? Which is 600 rupees per session.
So pickleball right now is currently within the urban ecosystem and it's not yet gone to the rural ecosystem. So I believe that the cost makes sense for the urban center. To push it to the rural center, there needs to be a government inputs in creating the infrastructure and increasing it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right, so Sai Rohan, when is your interview?
19th February, sir.
Oh. Right, very on the call. This is your first interview?
No, sir, I've given mocks before.
No, not mocks, UPSC.
Yes, sir, first interview.
And how many attempts?
This is my 4th attempt, sir.
Okay. So, what is your self-assessment? How well have you done?
Sir, I would like to hear from you rather than give from my assessment.
We will definitely hear from us, but we would like to hear from you.
Sir, like taking into consideration my bias that I would have, the quantum computing questions, I could have answered them better in a more clearer sense. But apart from that, I think I was able to answer almost every other question to a satisfactory level, sir, to my satisfaction.
Yes, I would agree with Sai that you are a very good candidate, but you need to maximize your strengths. So first thing you need to do is to come in with totally clean shaven, right? Your hair should be properly, and neatly combed. Please get up. I want to see the length of your tie. Yes, it more or less meets the case. Sit down then. So you have everything going for you. You have a good personality. You are articulate. Your knowledge base is reasonably sound. So I would suggest that in the limited time which is left, please just recognize that most of the questions are going to come from 4 main sources, right? So it's your DAF, it's current events, it's your subject, optional subject, and work experience, if any. So focus on these areas, keep up to date, right? And try and cover some of these areas in depth which are linked to the civil services, because after all, that is the area you aspire to, right? So when I asked you about lateral entry, for instance, and that was how is this particular phase of lateral entry different from the others and all. Maybe, just a casual read of from Google and all will help you in that. When we ask something about current topics like digital erase, and I asked you what is the legal basis, you said, I think there is no legal basis. But that contradicted your very first response, which was that this is a fraud. Right? So, you need to be a little more assertive in that there is no legal basis. Because that gives a sense that you are tentative about things even when you know it. Right? So, the way you phrase it is very important. Because we are looking for total conceptual clarity. Your concepts should be clear as crystal to you, and your articulation is to be like playing darts going straight to the bullseye. Right? So practice that in the limited time which is available to you. Sit in front of a mirror, imagine that this question comes, how will you answer it? That will give you some more self-confidence going ahead and also some discipline. Right? So all the best, you'll do very well. How have your mails gone?
It was fine, I think, sir, about that extent. Sir, I just have a question. Ma'am, the question that you asked about, it's a political thing about agriculture taxation. What should have been my...
And they even so many other issues before taking a small decision. A small farm they want me to start another issue.
Just a minute. You see, he told you that your answer should be like a dart, like darts, going straight to the bullseye. I asked you about statehood for JNK. You know, like a jalebi, you went round and round and round and round. What is needed is for Kashmir to be given back its statehood. That you did not spell out. Spell that out, law and order, and whether people are ready. The measurement was seen in the last Lok Sabha elections, right? Based on that, you can give any time frame, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, but you have to have some basis. And then your answer should be like, says that's going to the bullseye. To the point answers. So when he said that you, in the limited time available, think of the questions and prepare answers. Your answer should be like that. You see, the question is, and answer should be to the point, and answers to the point, to the questions. Okay. Best of luck. Go there with a completely positive outlook that I'm going to ace this interview. That should be your mantra.
All the best.
All the
Best of luck.